Good afternoon, Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sport, Senator the Honorable Owen Darrell, JP, and the U.S. Consul General, Karen Grissett, members of the media, distinguished guests, our esteemed athletes, both home and abroad. Thank you for joining us today. Your presence underscores the significance of today's event. Without further ado, I am pleased to welcome to the podium our Director of Global Business Development and Partnerships, Hazel Clark, and also, if you could come,
Thank you so much, everyone. This is an exciting weekend, our third annual USATF Bermuda Grand Prix. So happy to have these amazing athletes that we're going to meet shortly on islands, and so many esteemed members of our track and field community. I also saw at some point Brian Wellman, who is a local legend here. Thank you for being here. I want to acknowledge you. And I'm going to ask Paul Doyle to join me. We're going to start with a statement, and he's going to begin with an initial question to our athletes. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Paul Doyle, the director of the Puma American Track League, and because of Hazel, we are all here for the third year in a row, so thank you very much for coming. I want to address something that's hit the media today. We're going to talk with all these great athletes in just a minute, but I need to address that Elaine Thompson is not here. We were informed by her sponsor that she would be here, and we'd been in negotiations with them for a long time. As we got closer to the event, we were hearing rumblings that she may not be ready, but we thought right up until yesterday she would be ready, and then yesterday we were informed that she's not going to be here. And I want to say the whole reason the American Track League exists and this Bermuda Grand Prix is to be here for athletes and to give athletes opportunities. We never want to force an athlete to be here when they're not ready to be here or it doesn't fit their schedule or their plan. So for that reason, we still have these great athletes here. It's still going to be a great event, and I want to kick it off with the 5 incredibly talented athletes we have here with a couple of questions first, and then we'll open it up to the floor for more questions. So the man immediately to my left, Karani James, you have a individual gold in the 400 at the Olympics, an individual silver in the 400 at the Olympics, an individual bronze in the 400 at the Olympics. No man has ever done that, right? Not even close. And you're about to go for 4. How do you do it? How do you stay in the sport so long, so competitive?
Just making sure that I take care of myself, my body, and just trying to, not put too much pressure on myself and make sure that I choose the right races, the right situations to show up. And, maybe I'm just, sometimes blessed to be who I am and to be a part of the sport and everything. So I'm just really blessed to even just have the opportunity to be at a photo of the games is a blessing for me. So,
yeah. Awesome. Thank you. All right, down the road to Tamari Davis, one of the youngest, most talented sprinters in the world. Do you realize you own the American Track League record for the women's 100?
Yes, I do.
You do? You were aware of that? Okay. And do you know what the time was?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I didn't. No, I just seen it said MR.
Okay. Yeah, 10.83, which at the time she were in
Memphis. Yes.
in Memphis 2 years
Yes.
ago as a 18-year-old? 19. 19. No, you're okay. 19. You're 21 now.
Yes.
Okay. So as a 19-year-old, so it was the fastest ever time run by a under 20 athlete. So how's your training going now?
It's going pretty well. Just staying consistent with my training and dieting and just staying focused. That's the number one key.
Okay. And you're doubling here,
Yes.
100 and 200.
It's gonna be fun. See, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm ready to enjoy it and see the outcome of both events.
Okay. Now we have 1 hour and 15 minutes in between the 100 and the 200.
Yeah, I'll be ready.
That's what's ideal for you.
Just staying focused and seeing what the result will be. I'm just super happy to see, what
Yeah.
I get.
Awesome.
So I'll be ready for it.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Next to what I believe is the hardest working man in track and field. This year, Noah, you've done A bunch of indoor races, World Indoors. 4x4 World Indoors. Now you've come out outdoors already, guns blazing. You're here this week. You're at World Relays next week. And that's just on the track we're talking about, everything he's doing off the track. He's big on social media. If you're not following him, check out his YouTube channel. Anyways, Noah, how do you do it? Where do you find the drive?
It's all passion. It's all passion and ambition. I have a strong ambition to whatever I touch, whatever I find interest in, whatever I believe I can be good in, I want to do to the best of my ability and then go further than that. And that's when it comes to track, that's when it comes to, social media, production, managing, putting the best team in the world together, that's just how I think. And it's constantly just driving me to say, okay, we did this well, but how much better can we truly be? Can we push it so far that nobody will ever be able to touch it?
That's a great answer and a great attitude too. And I just want to point out, I know the indoor season when you ran at the Boston meet, they hit viewing figures they had never seen before. And I'm convinced it's because Noah Lyles was there. So keep doing what you're doing because you're helping the sport. And that's what we're all trying to do here. So thank you. All right, Abby Steiner next. Abby, you had a little bit of a setback last year. You struggled through the season with an injury, but now you're already coming out 2 races this outdoor season already, a 400 and a 100, 11:05, which is pretty good.
Yeah, a couple relays too.
A couple relays. So what was the procedure you had, and how are you feeling? Are you feeling at the best you've ever been? Yep.
Yeah, the procedure I had done was a bone spur removal on my left foot. So I knew last year that I just had to listen to my body, try to make it to World Championships. When that didn't happen, I knew it was time to shut it down and give myself the best opportunity to make the Olympic team, because that's what it's all about. So yeah, it was nice just kind of having that time to take care of myself physically and mentally. I think the off season was a good chance to just reset and refocus and find the fun in the sport again. So I'm excited to be here and excited with what I've seen so far and looking forward to the rest of the season for sure.
Okay, great. So you mentioned a couple relays. Do you love relays?
I do love relays.
Even the 4x4?
Yeah, even 4x4.
Okay.
I feel like when you run as many relays as you do in college, you learn to love them. They're just a fun, competitive environment, and it's really been a joy, like getting to run with some of the same people I ran at the World Championship in Oregon. We'll hopefully run with them in Paris. So it's fun when we can get all of the USA girls together and do some special things early in the season.
Very good. Are you running next week at Bahamas?
I will not be there.
No. Okay. Okay. All right, Jaden Hibbert, the teenager on the panel here. So Jaden's 19. What was your PB you jumped last year? Huh? Yeah.
1787.
1787. Is it? Where's Brian? Is he here?
8.5.
What's your record? Your Bermuda record?
2.
Okay, so he eclipsed you at 18. How do you feel about that?
All 2.
Yeah.
Jonathan's world record's been there since 95, so somebody's got to.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jaden, there are guys in the competition that are 34 years old that you'll be competing against on Sunday, which means when they were your age, you were just a toddler. Yeah. So you're actually competing against probably people you looked up to. Do you have any sort of triple jump stars you looked up to as a young kid?
I didn't really know anybody until I went to the Diamond League last year. I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So, myself, I guess.
Yourself? Okay. That's good. That's good. So there aren't any other triple jumpers you looked at, studied their technique or anything like that? Just all comes natural to you? Okay. Well, Jaden's going to be jumping from short approach, right?
Right,
8 steps. So you'll notice he's going from about half the distance as some of the other jumpers. Do you feel like you're eventually going to be moving your approach back?
Oh yeah, we're going to be in Jamaica.
Okay.
We're going to
Okay. Like, Noah, that kind of like you be starting the 100, just deciding not to use starting blocks. So, all right, well, that's the icebreaker opening questions for everybody. Anyone else here have some questions they want to ask?
I mean, it's kind of just a fun question, but I'm really interested to know, like, because you guys have been competing for a while, you're at the top of your games, and do you ever get nervous? Is like the question that I really have, like, still just like getting up on the starting blocks. And also a fun one if you want to share your like go-to pump-up song if you have one before you race.
Yeah, I'll start. In terms of nervousness, no. It's been a very long time since I've been nervous. I'd say I get excited, and I have and that excitement kind of gives that similar feeling, but it's all positive energy. In terms of hype song, I have multiple different playlists that go for each event. So if you're at World Championships, I have like 3 different playlists, heats, prelim, or semifinals, and then finals. But the one that always gets me is New God Flow by Kanye West. It's the one that puts the icing on the cake that's like, all right, records get broken today.
For nervousness, once I'm warming up, it's a little bit nervous wandering around, but once I get to the starting line, getting the blocks, I can definitely go time. All the nervousness goes away. And for hype songs, like you said, it's a mixture of playlists. I don't really have a specific song, but anything with Drake and a little bit of Seagirls and just a mixture. But yeah, it's definitely a fun time to get prepared for the big job.
I think for nerves, it's like a different form of nerves. It's more like the excitement nervousness than it is like freaking out, like, oh my god, I'm about to run. So I think it's just like channeling them in a different way. And as far as pump-up songs, I love Kanye as well. His old music is hard to beat.
Karani, you can't get nervous, do you?
Yeah, of course I do. But I think it's similar to what Ali said. It's a different form of nervousness. Like you said, you want to channel it and not let it overwhelm you and channel it into your performance. And sometimes, yeah, because as athletes, because we're all individual and the sport is so objective, you tend to be very self-critical. So I think for me that lends a little bit of nervousness too. You want to make sure that you're performing and you go out and you perform well for the crowd or the family or anything. So yeah, sometimes that kind of plays into the team. Yeah.
But for nerves on me, I'm always nervous. You're right, no. Hype songs, I really have a hype song. I really want the R&B kind of part next door. Drake. You listen to R&B? But yeah, just a vibe.
I pegged you for a Swiftie.
Swiftie?
Taylor Swift. Okay. More questions?
Yeah, can you kind of clear up at the beginning? You said with the Elaine Thompson, you said there was a deal done with her sponsor, and today her coach indicated that there was no deal between the coach and Elaine and the meeting. Can you kind of clear that up?
Yeah, so we were told by her sponsor that she would be coming. And, the sponsors are very involved with her, both from a management standpoint and sponsorship standpoint. And we were told she would be coming, and we're waiting for the manager to officially confirm. But we were told under the impression, completely blindsided, that she wasn't coming. Even in the final hours, we tried to get her just to show up here. And she's actually pretty disappointed that the news hit, because she wanted to be here initially, and it's just she's not here because of circumstances out of her control. This happens all the time in the sport. Unfortunately, when it's a high-profile athlete such as Elaine Thompson, it makes the news. But we had 120 athletes in this meet that were coming, and probably 30 of them are no longer coming. Even my buddy here, Karani, was coming, then he wasn't, and now he is here, thank God. So, you know, this type of stuff happens all the time in the sport, and it's unfortunate this time, but I'm sure Elaine wants to be here eventually. I know Safa has told me he spoke to her, and that she really wants to be here. So we hope that we see her here next year.
I've got one question for Noah. Noah, on Sunday is expected to be challenging conditions as far as wind. You had that challenge last year. How does one prepare, especially if you're doing 100, when you have approximately 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, probably at your back? You know, rhythm goes, all sorts of things go, don't they?
Yeah. In terms of that, we spoken with meet directors and officials and asked for whatever the wind be that we run with it, and running the race that way, you get an overspeed day, and it turns into more of kind of an exciting instead of a letdown. Nobody wants to see 10-3 show up on the clock. That is not going to increase your positivity going into the year. But we can take last year as an example. Me and Christian, running the 979, me running the 981. That puts a lot of confidence on your belt, no matter if it was wind-aided or not. In the track world, we say if your body's gone there once, then your body knows how to get there again, whether that's with or without wind. So going with the wind and hoping to see a dramatic time, no matter what that is, puts confidence into the season, and it's what gives that energy to go forward. And even seeing, again, using last year as an example, seeing the 981 and then finish my season with 983. Whenever I see tomorrow, with or without wind, I'm like, I'm gonna get there, or I'm gonna get, very close to it by the end of the season.